biology class. So let's continue. Don't forget to subscribe my channel if you did not. And don't forget to click the notification bell to get my latest updates. So let's start. Today our topics are structure of a cell, discovery of a cell, and types of cells. So let's move on to the first topic. But before that, let's see the definition of cell. The cell, from Latin cella, meaning small room. So now, what is the word origin of the word cell? What is the word origin of the word cell? Word origin of cell is Latin. It is called cella in Latin. So cella meaning small room. As you all know, cell is a structural, functional and biological unit of all known organisms. Structural, functional and biological unit, because any living organism is made up of cell, and different cells do different functions, so it's a functional unit, and it is also a biological unit. So now cell is the smallest unit of life, so it's a biological unit. Cells consist of cytoplasm. As I have said in the before video, it contains cytoplasm enclosed with a membrane, cell membrane or plasma membrane, which contains many biomolecules such as proteins, amino acids. Proteins means amino acids, and nucleic acids. So let's come to the structure of a cell. In the before video, I have said you a simple structure of a cell. Now I am going to say you different organelles also. So let's see it. You all know this is the plasma membrane, or it's also called as cell membrane. It's also called as cell membrane. Okay, plasma membrane is also called as cell membrane. So let's move on to the next one, that is nucleolus. You all know what is nucleolus. Nucleus is in the center of the cell. Nucleus is in the center of the cell, and nucleolus is in the center of the nucleus. See, cell in the center of cell is the nucleus. In the center of nucleus is the nucleolus. I think you might have understood. So let's see the next one. This is rough endoplasmic reticulum. And rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum produce proteins for the rest of the cell to function. It has ribosomes on it, which are small round organelles which function. It is to make those proteins, ribosomes. And you all know cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the jelly-like substance. What? Jelly-like substance. Jelly-like substance, which is mainly comprised of water, salts, and proteins. Means amino acids, water H2O, and salts. And next one is the Golgi apparatus. It's also known as Golgi complex, Golgi body, or simply the Golgi. So, its function is it packages the proteins into membrane bound vessels. What? Vessels. Inside the cell before the vessels are sent to the destination. This is the structure. This is the function of Golgi apparatus. So let's move on to the next organelle. So it is none other than lysosome. So what is lysosome? Lysosome is a membrane bound cell organelle that contains digestive enzymes. They are involved with various cell processes. The breakdown excess or worn out cell parts. The breakdown excess or worn out cell parts. And they break down excess or worn out. Breakdown excess or worn out cell parts. They may be used to destroy invading viruses and bacteria. Destroy invading viruses and bacteria. I think you might. Okay, so I think you are understanding, huh? So let's move on to the next organelle. So now let's go to the next one, that is mitochondrion or mitochondria. It is also called mitochondria. So mitochondrion is a semi-autonomous double membrane bound organelle and it is mostly found in eukaryotic organisms. What are eukaryotic organisms? The organisms in which the cells have a well organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane. The most important role of mitochondria is to produce the energy of the cell, to produce energy from the cell through the process of respiration and to regulate cellular metabolism. What? Metabolism. So this is also called as powerhouse of the cell. It is also called as powerhouse of the cell. It's also called as powerhouse of the cell. So let's go to the next one, that is microtubule. What? Microtubule. Don't get that much obsessed. It is microtubule. And these microtubules are polymers of tubulin that form part of the cytoskeleton and provide structure and shape to eukaryotic cells. I think you remember eukaryotic cells. Just now I have said what are eukaryotic cells. So let's go to the next one. And they are very dynamic. They are very dynamic. And they can grow as long as 50 micrometers. Huh? Listen properly. 50 micrometers. Not millimeters or centimeters or meters or kilometers or decimeters or decameters. Micrometers means how small? Is it this much? This much? Or this much? This much. You can't even see it with a naked eye. Okay, so let's see the next one. That is centrioles, the next organelle. So next one is centriole. A centriole is a cylindrical organelle composed mainly of a protein called tubulin. So what is there any relation between these two? Is there relation? Yes, why not? So let's see the relation between these two. Are you ready? So listen properly. What means? It's simple. A centriole is a small set of microtubules. Centriole is a small set of microtubules. Small set of microtubules is called as a centriole. So I think you might have understood the relation. And also these centrioles move towards the opposite ends of the nucleus when it is time for cell division. Are you ready for the division? Ching, ching, ting, ching. Division. So let's move on to the next part of our video, that is discovery of a cell. Most of you know the discovery of the cell. Who discovered it? Our great English scientist Robert Hooke. Our great English scientist Robert Hooke first discovered the cell in 1665. He also described this in his book called Micrographia. What? Micrographia. And friends, please do watch the video carefully because I'm going to take a quiz from you all regarding this video. At the end of the video, I'll take a quiz. So see properly, observe carefully, and listen. The most important part of your body are your ears. No need of eyes also, but probably everybody wants eyes. Eyes are also needed, but the most prominent part of our body is ears. What is it? Listen more, listen more, talk less. Listen more, talk less. So I'm going to say you a bit now. What means? What is the difference between discover and invent? Most of you will get confused between them and they might say, now let's take an example. I'll say few inventions and few scientists and what they discovered or invented. You should say that is it discovered or invented. After I say the scientist name and is invention or discovery, after 5 seconds I'll say what is it. So let's see the first one. Edison, light bulb. It is an invention. Edison, light bulb. Light bulb is an invention by Edison. So let's see the next one. Robert Hooke, cell. What? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's a discovery. So I have said you two examples. I think you might have understood. See, Edison invented the light bulb because there was no light bulb before. There was no light bulb before. It is not natural. But cell, he did not make it or invent it. It's already there in the mother nature from the starting. Nobody invented it. So it's called discovery. Discovered. Discover means the thing which is starting from the nature is called, and we find it out, it's called discovery. And the thing which is not there from the starting of the nature and somebody invented it, somebody made it, is called as invented. So let's see the next one. So how did Robert Hooke observe the plant cells? Do you know? He did not see from naked eye. Are you thinking he saw from naked eye? No, if you think like that, you are absolutely wrong. You can't even see an ant properly with some closed eye. And how can you see a small cell which is not at all visible? So let's see about it. Are you ready? He observed the cells, the dead cell walls of plant cells in a core through the microscope he has made. See, this is Hooke's microscope. He made it. This is Hooke's microscope. He observed from here. He kept the cell here and observed from here. This is called Hooke's microscope. Hooke's microscope. So, what is a cork? Did any time see bottles? Captain! Hi, hi, Captain! Means you might have seen pirates bottles. They'll be closed by something like this porous material. And this is called cork. So let's see how it looks. So, as I said he observed the cells in a cork and they were in honeycomb structure. See, this is the honeycomb structure. These, like this, Hooke saw from his microscope. What is honeycomb structure? This is only honeycomb structure. Do you know honeycomb? Buzz of bees. Okay, this is the cork I have said you. I said no. For bottles, they'll keep the cork. So let's move on. Observe carefully. So next one is microscope. You all know what is microscope? Microscope is an instrument that makes an enlarged image of a small object, thus revealing details too small to be seen by the unaided eye. The most familiar kind of microscope is the optical microscope, which uses visible light focused through lenses. And this is a compound microscope. This is the eyepiece. This is the adjustment knob. This is the fine adjustment knob. This is coarse adjustment knob. This is the inclination joint. This is the mirror-based condenser, objective, revolving, nose piece, and the body tube. So let's move on. Now we are going to see different types of microscopes. What? Different types of microscopes. Just for a small tidbit, you think. So let's see optical microscope, compound microscope, stereo microscope, confocal laser scanning microscope. Reflection electron microscope, X-ray microscope, scanning helium ion microscope, scanning acoustic microscope, SAM, electron microscopes. Neutron microscope, scanning probe microscopes, electron microscopes, and scanning electron microscope. Different types of cells. So I'm also going to ask you one question from this part. And don't say this, they are not that much important. We are going to only see the basics. But then also I wrote for your reference. So let's see. Stem cells. Embryonic stem cells. Adult stem cells. Embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. I'm just saying for your convenience or reference or whatever you say. And second one is the RBC, red blood cells, RBC, erythrocytes. You all know what is this, erythrocytes. RBC, red blood cells. So it has hemoglobin. You all know what is hemoglobin, huh? Hemoglobin is a red pigment. Hemoglobin is a red pigment and it has oxygen carrying capacity. So let's see the next one. White blood cells. WBC. They fight against diseases. Fight against diseases. You all know this. They are also called as granulocytes and neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, monocytes, and lymphocytes. So next one we are moving on is the platelets. They are fragments of megakaryocytes. So have you ever thought what is the specialty of platelets? So let's see. I'm going to say you a dangerous disease which is spread by none other than mosquito, that is dengue. What? It's not dengue, huh? Dengue. When you get this dengue, they will decrease. If you think this is flowchart, and yeah, starting platelets are here, and they will decrease. At a point, you will die. So dengue is a very dangerous disease. So if platelets decrease, they will die. So next one, nerve cells. You all know what are nerve cells. Neurons and neuroglial cells. What? Neuroglial cells. So they are branched. Neurons are branched. What? They are branched. They are branched. Neuron cells are branched. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. Muscle cells, skeletal cells, cardiac and smooth cells. Next one, cartilage cells, chondrocytes, bone cells, osteoblasts, osteoclasts, osteocytes, and lining cells. You don't worry, this is just for your reference. And skin cells, keratinocytes, melanocytes, Merkel cells, and Langerhans cells. Next one, endothelial cells, lining blood vessels, epithelial cells. Epithelial cells, lining body cavities. Fat cells, white adipocytes and brown adipocytes. You all might have heard what are adipocytes. Sex cells, supermatozoa and ova. So it's completed. So let's move on to it's the quiz time. So all of you get ready for the quiz. First question, you will get 7 seconds each. What is in the center part of this cell? The time starts now. And the answer is nucleus. So let's move on to the next one. Second question. Who discovered cell and when? Your time starts now. So let's move on to the next question. What is the another name of cell membrane? You all know this. I have said you in the starting of the structure of the cell, the starting topic, the starting line, the starting point called plasma membrane. So the next question, what are the fragments of megakaryocytes? Now comes the typical question, कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? The time starts now. And it ends now. And platelets. In which book did Hook describe his discovery of cell? And this used micrographia. And the next question, oh sorry, there are no more questions. Thanks for watching by the way. Thank you very much.
So hi friends, I think you might have enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe my video and do watch the videos which will appear on your screen shortly. Thank you. Signing off, Achutram, I.A.S. Toppers Kids.